Viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back again on this platform where we tell you undiluted truth. And this truth will hurt the haters of Ndigbo in Nigeria. To start with, the senators and the National Assembly members from the Southeast actually made me proud. When they brought the issue of immortalizing Humphrey Nwosu came up at the National Assembly.
Senator Tony Way representing Anambra North. Mr. President, the issue at stake is an appeal I'm making that we should not allow our personal biases, our personal sentiments, and our party affiliations to influence what we are doing here. So far I'm concerned, during the June 12 presidential election, I was a presiding officer. And yes, I just came out from secondary school. I was the presiding officer in that election. That election has been adjudged up to today the freest and fairest election in the history of Nigeria. Mr. President, any Nigerian that googles internet, which election is the freest and fairest election in Nigeria, is the June 12th presidential election. Professor Humphrey Nwosu, a professor of political science from the prestigious University of Nigeria, a civil servant, before he was appointed in 1989, did his best, despite the pressure from Babangida government, despite the court order, Mr. President, allow me, despite the court order by Justice Ibeme that stopped the election, despite all the threats from the military cabal, the man still went ahead to conduct the freest and fairest election. Was it Professor Humphrey Nwosu that made Justice Saleh from Katangum Emirate from Bauchi to annul the election? Was it Justice Professor Humphrey Nwosu that made the military cabal to throw Nigeria into confusion? It is highly unfair. One of my colleagues mentioned about the honor.
How was it going to remain my brother?
Is it because he belongs to a particular political party? Let us not distort facts. It's very disappointing that some of us will be distorting facts just because Professor Humphrey Nwosu is an Igbo man.
Thank you very much.
Allow this motion to
thank you, sir.
Arrest my case.
Thank you.
The Senate shall, by resolution, regulate its procedure. So even if the Senate leader says that it doesn't follow, by the fact that a senator wants to make a personal explanation, you must give that senator a chance to make that personal explanation. We are not under a dictatorship, Mr. President. That is why I'm using 1B to come. A discussion, you say we can't talk, we don't talk.
Former minority leader.
Thank you, Mr.
Very
President.
Experienced.
I'm glad that you recognize that I was a former minority leader.
Thank you very much.
I know the rules. Mr. President, I don't know what is controversial for immortalizing Humphrey Nwosu.
This guy staged a walkout.
I don't know.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, National Youth Council Nigerian
No, there's camera. Camera is coming.
We said that even if it's not done today, that another government will do this. We are still looking forward to the Tinubu government. If you recall, Tinubu was seen and has always been seen as a June 12 warrior. And therefore, all the elements that make up June 12, including the conduct of the election. And like we said, if there was no election, there would have been no June 12. So we can also use this opportunity that we're here addressing you to appeal to the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to honor the man who made sure that that election held.
Because you know why? Some people said he no fit, he no what it.
They are saying that Professor Nwosu and President Babangida fooled 18 million Nigerians that voted.
You have 1 second. You have 2 seconds remaining.
Therefore, let me round up, Mr. President. I thank you for your this because this is very important. If you couldn't, this is my last point, sir. I appreciate. This is my last point. So I want my in-laws to understand. If he was afraid of the gun, because we're under dictatorship, some people might say, well, but there were Nigerians who were protesting under the gun without minding the consequences. After the end of Babangida tenure, the death of Abiola, the birth of the new democracy that produced President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Obasanjo. Since then, I would have expected Nwosu to say, either on his birthday or on any special occasion, now that we are back to democracy, there is freedom of speech, even the freedom to lie. I would have expected Nwosu to be able to say, I could not declare these numbers.
Thank you.
Now, on my record, Abiola won this election.
Thank you. Senator Osita, you have the floor.
He died without confession.
Thank you.
That he died without confession cannot be rewarded.
Thank you, Senator
He
Osita.
cannot be rewarded.
Senator Osita, you have the floor.
You can imagine the madness. You can imagine the hatred. And some people are asking, why is it that Ndigbo wants out from this country, that they are not wanted? The famous, the most credible and fairest election ever conducted in the history of Nigeria, the man behind it, they are debating whether or not to immortalize him.
Let me explain the process from June 16, 1993. Remember, we were promised that if that election was conducted to be free and fair, accepted by international observers and local observers, that we would be given national honors. So my colleagues were also working hard as Nigerians. So when, according to our efforts, you knew all the problems, all the restrictions, in spite of all that, June 12 came. The election was conducted, it was peaceful, materials were distributed all over Nigeria, promptly in all difficult terrain because of arrangement and logistic preparation we put in place. So when the results started coming in, June 13, 14, in fact it was to be concluded around June 17, 18. The other party, NRC, had even congratulated SDP for winning. You know, suddenly there was a letter served on me by Commissioner of Police that we should cease forthwith in releasing the results. I summoned on June 16 emergency meeting of the commission. All the results had come in with the exception of that of Taraba, which the resident electoral commissioner from Delta, Professor Sada, was on his way to bring. We would have released the result about June 17. So they said, stop. I was served. In fact, I was called in a meeting of National Defense and Security Council and said, would you release this result without knowing? I said, that's the law. There was no provision of the highest ruling military body to vet the result. The law says that the result should be announced at each level. The polling station level, ward headquarters, local government, state, and finally their conclusion at headquarters. In fact, almost every person, owing to the communication system we put in place, could even collate to know that Abiola had won. The law is clear. Elections have been conducted. Results have been collected. The only one remaining is that of Taraba, and he had come along with it. Please allow us to conclude. We are a technical body. We are not politicians. In any case, if you don't want us to release the result, you should call Abiola and Tofa, or negotiate with Abiola. That Abiola was the winner. Babangida said, NEC, National Electoral Commission, what is your position on this election? I answered, I was the boss, leadership of NEC stops with me. I said, sir, allow us just 2 minutes so that it will not be Humphrey Nwosu's decision. It will be that of National Electoral Commission. He said, okay, 2 minutes. We went to one of the rooms. Said, gentlemen, ladies and Eruku was a lady National Commission. We don't have anything to do with politics of this.
Even after everything that happened, even the man that orchestrated that June 12th madness, Babangida, had come forward to say, admitted his fault, that the election was the best election ever conducted. The only people you will hear them give honor are people like Yakubu Mahmudu, Jagadem, and the rest of Maurice Wudem, the architect of bad governance in this country. They are the kind of people. If we have men like Humphrey Nwosu, do you think that idiots like we have today in the corridors of power will be the ones in power today? Far from it. They have given due acknowledgement to Abiola and immortalize him, and even go further to acknowledge him as the president of Nigeria. But the man that midwifed that process is being debated, whether or not. Just like what happened in Abia State. The woman that did same for Alex Oti to emerge as the credible winner of that election. Somebody will come out tomorrow if the woman is being honored to say, she doesn't deserve it. Why must she be? You know? So, if you hear Ndigbo saying they want out of this country, because you can't remain where they are, you are not wanted at all. You are not appreciated at all. Despite the fact that you are the blood that is fueling the lifeline of this country. I'm telling you, I'm not missing word about it. I'm not becoming explicit about it. I'm telling you the known fact. And you know, this game is always being played by the elites, while the people are always the instruments. Well, we saw what happened. Let me just bring them together immediately. The recent killing of some travelers whom they claim are hunters from the north that were massacred in Edo State. What happened? We started hearing that Igbo travelers in northern part, I heard it as alleged, were massacred as well in retaliation. Why would it be our people suffering everything, every provocation in this country? The victims will always be the Igbos. Why? Waiting concern Igbos with waiting happen in Edo State. So that is to tell you how wicked and the kind of deep-seated hatred Igbos have in this country. I'm telling you. If I were you in the north, as it is, because the tension is rising, be careful. Make you sleep with your 2 eyes open if you are Igbo. If I can advise you in this season of holiday, take your families down. If I'm not trying to be a kind of warmonger or kind of trying to speculate tension and all that. No, just nkuchabrojo. You understand what I mean? Let me just keep it at that. I think a word is enough for the wise, for my people to know. No, do God. Let me have your thought on it. Help me share this video to everyone, especially in all the Igbo platforms you belong, so that my people will be aware of what is knocking around. So that what happened in 1966 will not repeat itself on our people. I'm associated repeat as your advocate for good governance. This is also part of it, because this is a total breakdown of governance. That's what we are witnessing in Nigeria today. What's your take on it? Bye-bye for now. GGN, uniting the people for good governance.